preserving the past, reflecting the present, informing the future. It all started in 1964, when a few far-sighted individuals collected radio and television scripts, program recordings, and photos under the banner of the Broadcast Pioneers Library. Today, it's known by broadcast professionals, academics, policymakers, and the interested public as the Library of American Broadcasting. Housed at the University of Maryland College Park, this library has long been recognized as one of the nation's leading collections. The Library of American Broadcasting Foundation is dedicated to supporting and growing the library collection, promoting its assets and value, and guiding and advising its expert curatorial staff. And now, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of those pioneering efforts. The Library of American Broadcasting Foundation presents the 2024 Giants of Broadcasting and Electronic Arts, honoring Al Roker, Christine Baranski, Mike McVeigh, Patricia C. Patsy Smullen, Steve Jones, Stephen A. Smith, Wendy McMahon. Celebrating Hearst Television with the second annual LABF Excellence in Broadcast Preservation Award. Returning as MC, 2018 Giant, Bill Whitaker. The Library of American Broadcasting Foundation welcomes you to the 2024 Giants of Broadcasting and Electronic Arts. Let's put our hands together and say hello to LABF co-chairs, Jack Goodman and Heidi Raphael.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the entire LABF board, we are honored to be with all of you here today to celebrate the 60th anniversary of LABF's origin and pay tribute to some really great giants in our industry. Preservation has never been more important. That's why we are also honoring Hearst Television for their outstanding dedication and efforts at preservation. The Library of American Broadcasting is a national treasure, and we at LABF serve as its philanthropic partner of one of the industry's largest and most beloved collections of history. It is cared for by the incredible team at the University of Maryland, and we're thrilled to have with us today two of the people who do that, Mike Henry, Reference Specialist, Mass Media Culture, and Christy McDermott, Development Program Manager. Many thanks to you and your colleagues for all you do on behalf of the industry and the history of our great service. They are outstanding partners to work with, and we are proud to have them on our team.
The Library of American Broadcasting Foundation Board of Directors serve as the philanthropic ambassadors on behalf of our collection, helping to raise funds to support a variety of projects ranging from underwriting important digitalization work to educational projects for future broadcasters. At this time, we would like to ask our incredible LABF Board of Directors to stand and be recognized. These people are the heart and soul of the organization. Thank you so much for all you do throughout the year to support the LABF. Today's awards luncheon is the result of countless hours of hard work and dedication. Many thanks to this year's new event producer, BJ Corvo, for her outstanding work in producing this extraordinary event. She's done a great job, and we are very grateful to her and the entire team working today. We would also like to thank Heather Cohen for bringing with her the next generation of broadcasters from Hofstra University who are volunteering here tonight or today. And we'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to the LABF board member who did the Giants for many years, Joyce Tudrin, and her outstanding team for IRTS for their work over the years doing the Giants event. Thank you, Joyce, for everything you did. Most of all, thanks to all of you, for without your support, we would not be here today. The collection would not exist. So thank you for helping to make history with us. While you enjoy your lunch, we invite you to open the printed program or scan the QR code to enjoy the 60th anniversary edition of our expanded digital journal. It not only includes must-see congratulatory ads, but also image highlights from the Library of American Broadcasting, details on our honorees, photo memories from last year's event, and much more. So congratulations to all of our Giants and Hearst Television. Our program will begin after lunch. Enjoy.
Please welcome back Heidi Raphael and Jack Goodman.
Well, we hope you are all enjoying your lunch. The moment of celebration, of course, is upon us, and we are so grateful to all of you and would like to take a moment to highlight our star sponsor today, CBS News and Stations and CBS Media Ventures. Thank you so much.
If you haven't had an opportunity to take a quick peek at our printed program or scan the QR code inside to access the 60th anniversary of our expanded digital program, you should do so, because one of the many things it includes is the honor roll of the over 250 people who have been, again, given the Giants Award over the years. Many of them are here today, including our MC. Will you please welcome 2018 Giant and 60 Minutes correspondent Bill Whitaker.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Good afternoon. How's everybody? And thank you, Jack and Heidi. Thank you very much. It is good to be here with you today, again, to support LABF. This giant event has such a rich history. Over the past 20 years, 255 of us have been named Giants. Several have joined us today. In recognition of LABF's 60th, we'd love to take a moment to celebrate them. So Giants, please stand so we can give you a round of applause. This year, we have 7 new Giants to add to our amazing Giants honor roll of creators, journalists, innovators, performers, and leaders. So let's get started. A best-selling author, Broadway actor, radio host, interviewer, founder of a multimedia development and production company, pioneer in the use of computer graphics for weathercasting, award-winning news and weather talent, a modern-day Renaissance man, that's an apt description for him, to introduce to you our first Giant of the day, Al Roker.
Wow, they've got a timer up here. Very nice. Okay, here we go. All right, time me. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fellow honorees and board members of the LABF. You know you're getting old when you're 10 years older than the organization that's honoring you. So I am really honored to receive this end-of-life, end-of-career award. I got to admit, I'm a little uncomfortable with the broadcast giant thing. I mean, If you take one look, you realize why my SUNY Oswego radio and TV department chairman said after my first TV performance class, Roker, you have the perfect face for radio. So if you're going to walk among giants, you really want to find the folks that will hoist you on their shoulders and carry you. My first true broadcast giant was Willard Scott. He was generous with his time, his wisdom, and most importantly, his bourbon. He told me, always be yourself. He was like a second dad to me, and I am so much better today because of knowing him. I worked in Cleveland, Ohio, then I moved to New York City, and you talk about working with broadcast giants. At News 4 New York, I got a master class every day in broadcast journalism from the likes of Chuck Scarborough, Sue Simmons, Carol Jenkins, Marv Albert, and Len Berman. My tour of the land of giants continued as I filled in for Willard on the Today Show. Now, if you don't think working next to Bryant Gumbel, Jane Pauley, and Katie Couric elevates your game, well, nothing will. Eventually, Willard was generous and passed the baton on to me, and I was fortunate enough to travel, banter, and work alongside Katie, Matt, Ann, Meredith, and today I am so fortunate to be sitting next to Savannah, Hoda, Craig, Carson, Chanel Jones, and the person who really does hope this is an end-of-career speech, Dylan Dreyer. Of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I don't have time to list all of our producers, our writers, and technical staff who make me look good, and trust me, that ain't easy. And of course, I am elevated every day by the gigantic journalistic talent that I actually live with, the incredibly smart, incredible journalist, the beautiful Deborah Roberts of ABC's 2020. She has helped me become a better broadcaster and a better person, and she told me to say that. So I thank you, and a note to the board, next year when you're going through the list of potential honorees, go over the list one more time after you've sobered up. Thank you. I still have a minute left.
We know her for the smart, sophisticated roles she embodies, but she would be the first to point out to you that should you be in a room with her when she's watching her beloved hometown Buffalo Bills, the team, she said, she'd stand in 0-degree weather just to see them trounce the New England Patriots. As one of entertainment industry's most celebrated actors, Christine Baranski is an Emmy Award, 2-time Tony Award, Screen Actors Guild Award, Drama Desk Award, and American Comedy Award winner. She has numerous theater and film credits to her name. However, Baranski became a household name to television audiences during her Emmy Award-winning role as Marianne Thorpe on the hit sitcom Sybil. Since then, she has been recognized for guest roles on Frasier, The Big Bang Theory. I told her I just saw her on The Big Bang Theory just last night. Starring in roles in The Good Wife, The Good Fight, and can currently be seen in the critically acclaimed series, The Gilded Age. Soon, you'll see her in season 2 of Hulu's 9 Perfect Strangers. Ask her what she likes to be known for, and I quote, "I like to be known for my laugh." That, of course, and becoming a giant. Let's welcome to the stage, Christine Baranski.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Heidi, Jack, and Bill. Thank you for giving a shout out to my Buffalo Bills. Big game on Sunday. Thank you to the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation. It's wonderful to be here on its 60th anniversary. As someone who received a full scholarship to Juilliard in 1970, I know how important the foundation is in nurturing the next generation and upholding the highest standards of this medium. And on that note, I'm utterly humbled by the title of giant. Like Al, I'm really not sure about that. But I do know that I was influenced and inspired by giants. I grew up in a Polish-American suburb of Buffalo, New York. Like Heidi, I'm from Cheektowaga. And we had one television set in the living room. And I spent all of my youth watching one person deliver the evening news at 6:30. The Cuban Missile Crisis, I vaguely remember that. The death of JFK, Vietnam, the moon landing, Watergate. We trusted one man, Walter Cronkite, to give us the facts. My evenings were then consumed blissfully learning the art of comedy from Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, Mary Tyler Moore, the social satires of Norman Lear. I watched Perry Mason every week, never dreaming I'd play a lawyer for 13 years. And late night, I enjoyed the effortless wit of Steve Allen and Johnny Carson. If I'm dating myself, it's okay. I'm grateful to have lived and learned during that truly golden age. I left drama school with the intention of being a theater actress, and until the age of 42, almost exclusively practiced that vocation, until with great reluctance, I took the giant leap into a TV sitcom. And I landed in the arms of Chuck Lorre, who is now one of our finest, most successful writers of comedy. And when I thought maybe it was time to do a dramatic role, I had the great good fortune of being in the hands of two brilliant original writers, Robert and Michelle King. And for 13 years, I got to play Diane Lockhart, the feminist lawyer fighting the good fight to stay sane in a Donald Trump presidency. I don't think I want to do the sequel. Finally, I've been touched by the gilded wand of the sublime Julian Fellows, playing an opinionated old money doyen who is convinced that the world is going to hell in a handbag. So yes, I have been influenced by and I have worked with giants, and I am grateful to them all. Finally, I wish to acknowledge and thank my representatives, Lisa Loosemore, Jacob Fenton, and Billy Lazarus, for all their many years of career advice, especially for getting me to make the leap into television, and also for their guidance, getting me, helping me to raise two beautiful daughters. I promise I will continue to try to grow in stature and perhaps someday deserve this title. Thank you so much.
He refers to himself as a Sherpa who loves coaching radio and television air talent and guiding prominent singer-songwriters, and has brought his thought leadership to all aspects of the audio, video, digital, and social media landscapes. As president of global consulting firm McKay Media, Mike focuses on the content side of the house, which he has also done when he was executive vice president of content and programming for Cumulus Media and Westwood One. That said, he has sales, general management, and ownership expertise too. Mike estimates that he's worked with over 200 radio stations. He's also developed and launched several successful nationally syndicated radio shows and consulted numerous radio networks. He's a sought-after speaker for industry conferences, a regular contributor to Radio Inc. magazine, and holds a key position as a partner in Benstown and McKay Media Podcast Network. He serves on the board of directors for the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation, the Country Radio Broadcasters, the Radio Committee for St. Jude Children's Hospital and Research Center, and is a voting member of the Country Music Association as well as the Academy of Country Music. Mike has received numerous awards throughout his 40-plus years, including being inducted into the West Virginia Broadcasters Hall of Fame. And now, we proudly induct him into the Giants class of 2024. Please welcome Mike McKay.
You know, it's an honor to receive the recognition from the LABF. It's an organization that I've had the pleasure of doing some work with through Chachi, Dave Dennis, Benstown, and Heidi Raphael with Beasley as we have coached students and worked with them in creating a podcast. I want to thank a bunch of people at my table, starting with my wife, because Doris McVeigh has not only been my life partner, but my business partner. This is a woman who in 1984 was going to have her second child and encouraged me to quit the job I had where there was insurance to become a consultant. And that takes balls. And I appreciate that. Thank you. I have to acknowledge also we are a broadcast family. Our daughter Jay is an air talent, voice tracking middays here in New York City on TJ 98.7 right now. But she has worked in multiple stations, both national and local. Her husband, Ryan, produces podcasts for Yay Network and works with McVeigh Media. Our daughter, Nikki, is an author, a blogger for the Bob and Sherry Show, and works on McVeigh Media's show prep service, which is all over the country. I have 3 grandchildren who I hope become something in media someday, Elle, Avery, and Michael A., who we call Mac. And Nikki's husband, Jimmy, isn't in broadcasting, but he's a lawyer, and everybody needs one. I have a very special connection with a couple of the other Giants today. I reminded Al Roker a little bit earlier that he and I both were together in Cleveland, Ohio at the same time. He is a god in media in Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, he has a Doppler weather radar tower named after him. In about 1983, we were both in the Cleveland Budweiser 500 go-kart race, which I won, but I only won it because they said, you can floor the car, they can't roll over. Al rolled his car over. Stephen A. Smith and I worked together earlier in his career, did some coaching, mentoring, and from that we became friends. Stephen A. is an amazing personality who keeps breaking down barriers. When he mentioned to me that he had a little line in his book about me, I thought it was that, a line. The guy gave me a page and a half in his best-selling book. And what was most surprising is I didn't realize he paid attention to anything I said. Steve Jones and I have a long, positive relationship from his days at ABC and then Skyview Network, where he now helms the ship. We became even closer friends when one of his children went to our beloved Ohio State. And anytime I would shout, OH, it comes back. Christine Baranski doesn't know that we have a friendship and a relationship. She ignored all of the fanboy emails and texts I sent. But it wasn't lost on me that in my 2 favorite shows, The Good Wife and The Good Fight, the character's name who played her husband was McVeigh. I knew it was real. It is a special honor to thank the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation for what they do for the youth in media. If we continue to evolve with the young people, then we're going to keep evolving as an industry. To all my friends, family, clients that are here, and to the LABF, thank you.
At this point in the program, we'd like to pause for a moment and remember someone very special to all of us. This year, we lost a titan, a Brooklyn-born force of nature, an LABF giant, Richard Liebner. On a personal note, I'm standing here today because of Richard. He plucked me out of local television and for 40 years was my agent, my mentor, and my friend. And during his nearly 6-decade career, he transformed the news business by making stars of the TV news talent he represented. Richard negotiated some of the biggest deals in TV news, including the one that had Dan Rather become the anchor of the CBS Evening News. But Richard was also a longtime LABF board member and philanthropist. Through his family's foundation, he and Carol have supported a wide variety of nonprofit organizations and initiatives, including the LABF Liebner Cooper Award Fund. LABF then works in partnership with the Broadcast Education Association to provide scholarships to graduate students and grants to faculty through the annual Liebner Cooper Grant for Creative Productions on the History of Media. Carol, Adam, Jonathan, and Liebner Cooper friends and family members, would you please stand up so we can recognize you, so all of us here can recognize you? Please. Now, to honor Richard's work and his memory, LABF will contribute $10,000 to the Library of American Broadcasting Liebner Cooper Awards Fund. So thank you. Thank you. Over 70 years ago, this next honoree's family was setting the stage for television to occupy the prominence it has in today's world. The power of television for good is to take your understanding of the communities that you're serving and do something to help those communities. Patricia C. Smullen, Patsy she told me we should call her, lives her own words every day as president and owner of California Oregon Broadcasting, Inc. COBI is the longest and one of the few continuously operating independent broadcast organizations in the West. Her father, William B. Smullen, founded the company in 1933. Today, COBI has television stations in Southern Oregon and Northern California, KOBI TV NBC5 and KOTI TV NBC2, and Pilot Rock Productions, a digital video production company. Under Patsy's leadership, COBI's award-winning, wide-reaching, and impactful community initiatives have focused on suicide awareness and prevention, the opioid epidemic, the region's housing crisis, and drug and child abuse prevention campaigns. Patsy has been an active member of local, state, and national boards, including the foundation that is honoring her today, the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation. As a leader, she has served local and national broadcast and cable associations. Her television career has been both behind and in front of the camera. Her recurring program, Up Close with Patsy Smullen, has featured interviews with TV stars, first ladies, network anchors, musicians, scientists, and politicians. Patsy has been the recipient of many local and national broadcast and cable awards, and today she has one more to add to her mantle, a giant one. Congratulations, Patsy, on joining the Giants roster.
Hello. As Bill said, my dad started our company in 1930. My attorney just said, actually 1932. and I'm told that it's the longest continuous independent broadcast operation in the country. As a teen, I enjoyed door-to-door cable TV sales. I'd come home with Avon products, Mary Kay products, vegetables, peaches, you name it. I thought if I bought the homeowners' products, they would buy my cable TV products. It didn't happen. In those days, cable meant better TV reception and I Love Lucy reruns. I now know why my dad would smile, congratulate me for trying. Back then, I thought he would be appalled by my lack of success. I even enjoyed the challenge of knocking on the doors of customers who were not paying their cable bills, including a whorehouse, my first, negotiating with my first madam, and including the lady who was on her way to bail her husband out of jail, but decided to pay me her cable bill instead. She then turned around, went back into her house to watch her programs, leaving her spouse in jail. I was a teenager. I was impressed. Today, I still go door to door, but it's with antennas so that people can watch free over-the-air television, some 30 to 40 channels for free. One of the joys of my career has been the opportunity to host a show called Up Close with Patsy Smullen, where I interview leaders from politics, business, entertainment, journalism, and give our viewers the opportunity to get to know people they might never have a chance to meet. And it's a little bit surreal for me to be honored today with one of the individuals on my show, Al Roker, the one and only Al Roker, and Jenna Bush. People often ask me how those interviews got started. Well, it started with Geraldine Ferraro. Anybody remember Geraldine Ferraro? She was the first female ever to run for vice president of the United States of America and was campaigning in my hometown. I was dismayed that no one in any of our news operations in Southern Oregon or Northern California had any interest in interviewing her. Again, my dad gave me a suggestion. He walked by my office, said, "Quit being upset about it and go do it yourself." I loved it. And in fact, I have loved never having a day where I wasn't challenged by my profession. I loved doing a half-hour show later with First Lady Barbara Bush, and later, Barbara's daughter-in-law, Laura Bush, and later, Laura Bush's daughter, Jenna Bush. My company's mission was, and still is, to make small market broadcast outlets all they can possibly be. And that's the mission that my team and I dedicate ourselves to every single day. Newspaper, radio, cable TV, microwave, digital. It's all communications, and it's all important. In closing, let me share with you my dad's 1950s introduction to our company handbook, which is our company handbook today. Wealth comes from minds of men and women in the form of new inventions, processes, formulas, products, etc. Wealth comes from discoveries in sea, land, and sky. In our service to listeners, viewers, and subscribers, we have unlimited opportunities to help individuals and existing businesses stay alive and new ones get started. Let's join together in the fun of creativity and work that serves individuals, eases pain, increases happiness, and provokes joy of accomplishment. For this Library of American Broadcasting Foundation honor, my thanks.
A self-described straight shooter, the title of his best-selling memoir. Some may call Stephen A. Smith a charismatic maverick. Others may refer to him as loud and bombastic. However you describe him, he's fine with it. Just don't do it to discount the work he's put in to getting where he is today. He was a sports-obsessed kid who faced struggles, from undiagnosed dyslexia to getting enough food to fill his belly. As a basketball player at Winston-Salem State University, he got a glimpse of his true calling when he wrote a newspaper column arguing for the retirement of his own Hall of Fame coach, Clarence Gaines. Stephen started his career as an intern at the Winston-Salem Journal. It would take 14 years of hustle with a variety of stops, including the New York Daily News and the Philadelphia Inquirer, before hosting his own show at ESPN. Just 4 years later, he was fired from ESPN. It was a time of introspection. He had to figure out the business end of the business. Just 2 years later, he was back at ESPN hosting First Take, the network's flagship morning program and the #1 sports morning show since 2012. As part of expanding his brand beyond sports and positioning himself for future opportunities, Stephen launched his highly successful podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show. He's even dabbled in acting. Perhaps you saw his cameo in the 2023 film Creed 3. Stephen's mantra is to be mission-minded, such as his unwavering commitment to supporting HBCU students and his passion for children's literacy initiatives. Please welcome to the stage our next giant, Stephen A. Smith.
Good afternoon, everybody. To the LABF and to everybody in attendance here, I can't thank you enough. This is an incredible honor. And it's a surreal moment, to be quite honest with you, because to be let go in 2009, to be mentored and tutored by a fellow honoree, Mr. Mike McVeigh, who obviously has become a very, very dear friend of mine. To be in attendance for all of you being considered a giant, just about 15 years when I felt like anything but. It's hard to put into words. But I will tell you that although I never feel that I'm deserving of something like this, I'm not giving it back. I'm going to hold on to this because this is special. When you talk about giants in this industry, when you talk about giants in broadcasting, particularly in the digital stratosphere that exists in this day and age, let's understand what we mean by giants. It's not just being good or gifted or even excellent at your craft. It's about being committed to making a difference. Sometimes it's about ruffling feathers. Sometimes it's about understanding that the truth is more important than making friends, because you have to be mindful and cognizant of who you're making friends with. What's their objective? What's their agenda? What are they trying to accomplish, and whether or not it's for the betterment of the whole. One of the things that I've prided myself on throughout my career is that I knew that I strived to be as honest, as straightforward, and as fair as I could possibly be. I think about standing up here with you right now, thinking about receiving such a great honor, and it's hard for me to avoid reflecting on how I got here. I got here because I have a sister that's in the audience over there who I love dearly. She is just a part of my soul. My sister Carmen. She's an extension of the greatest woman I've ever known, which is my mama who passed away in 2017. I think about then, and then meeting Mr. McVeigh and how he took me from ashes in my career to where I am now. I think about 2011, when an individual by the name of Dave Roberts, who's an executive VP at ESPN, took it upon himself to make sure he prioritized getting me back to a place where he felt I belonged, and then went about the business of mentoring me and guiding me and imploring me to be the best that I could be. And lo and behold, I'm standing here today. So I thank all of you. I see former executive at ESPN, Trod Keller, in the audience, a good man. Love you. Good to see you, my man. I'm thinking about Jimmy Pitaro, the president of ESPN. I'm thinking about Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney. And I'm thinking about the fact that William Morris Endeavor is all in attendance. They're led by President Mark Shapiro, who was the individual that hired me at ESPN in 2003 when practically no one thought he should. I think about all of those moments, and all I could say is that I'm incredibly grateful. I'm incredibly grateful to my team, Juvie and Sumatra, my lady, Katana, Tierica, the wife of Mr. Dave Roberts, who's one of the most wonderful women I've ever met, and so many other people. And all I'm going to say in closing is this: you don't receive the level of support that I've received unless your heart's in the right place, you're committed to excellence, and you understand what a true giant is. It's not about what you accomplish. It's about the journey and the path you're willing to take to accomplish great things. And when I sit up here and I take that cup and I take it home with me, and I'm recognized as a giant in this industry, it's not going to be accompanied with a swan song for me saying, look at what I accomplished, I've arrived. It's going to be with the mindset that I've achieved this because people expect great things from me, to be committed to making a difference and being all giants are supposed to be. And I promise, when it comes to intent and focus and energy and a level of perseverance that most people aren't willing to see, I promise you that indeed will be me. The mission and the goal won't be to be a giant. It will be to sustain being a giant for the rest of my career. I will not stop. Thank y'all. God bless. Appreciate you. By the way, just breaking protocol, say iHeartRadio as well. They've been wonderful to me. Julie Talbot, you know I love you. It's just that when you got 4 minutes, you don't want to forget. Just want to say it.
The foundation provides funding to the Library of American Broadcasting, which serves as a collective memory for the industry with a focus on preservation and access. Fortunately, the foundation and library aren't the only ones to have a passion for preserving the past, reflecting the present, and informing the future. Picture this: a tanker truck with over 6,500 gallons of animal fat overturns on a Cincinnati highway in 1998, and Dawn dish soap is used to clean it up. Really? The local Hearst TV station was there to capture that moment, which has now been digitized and cataloged. How about Muhammad Ali running the 1984 Olympic torch through the streets of his hometown while chiding the reporters who were comfortably capturing his scene while in the back of a flatbed truck with, "You're smiling because you're riding." It's a classic Ali line that was not only captured by the local Hearst TV station, but now forever is preserved and archived. This is Hearst Television's passion project, going back nearly 40 years and digitizing the content that reflects the communities their stations serve and cataloging the content for future use. To date, over 70,000 hours of video have been saved, with the entire Hearst TV library expected to be digitized by the end of 2025. In celebration of Hearst Television's outstanding dedication and commitment to preserving broadcast history, LABF presents the Excellence in Broadcast Preservation Award to Hearst Television. Accepting for Hearst Television is Hearst Senior Vice President and President of Hearst Television, Michael Hayes.
Thanks, Bill. It's an honor to be introduced by the great Bill Whitaker. It's also an honor and privilege to accept the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation's Excellence in Broadcast Preservation Award on behalf of Hearst Television and our parent company's Chief Operating Officer, Jordan Wertlieb. Congratulations to all the giants of broadcasting being honored today. You've each left an indelible and unique mark on our industry. Now I understand why Jordan is in the Galapagos Islands, because he was told that he'd have to follow Stephen A. Smith. So that's what I've done my whole career, is follow Jordan, carry his bag, so he's on vacation and I'm following that. The project of digitizing the broadcast archives of Hearst Television was in fact Jordan's vision, and work began with our Senior Vice President of Streaming Services, Andrew Fitzgerald, in the midst of the pandemic, right at the beginning of 2020. The work is on schedule to be completed next year, and now 91,000 hours have been digitized. These archives are the video histories of our markets from all over the country. They are treasures to both our company and the communities we serve. There are so many people to thank. With us today are a few members of our team who are responsible for this endeavor, including Ernie Morello, who has overseen this effort, Director of Digital News Integration, Devin Armijo. Devin has led the project on a day-to-day basis, creating the systems and structure which have allowed us to build this process. His focus has resulted in an acceleration of productivity, leading to the conclusion at the end of next year, and roughly half of our markets today are digitized. Also like to thank Archives Manager Eric Jones. Eric is a Navy veteran, so a belated day later. Eric, thank you for your service to our country. Eric has helped unlock the potential of digitized clips. He has coordinated special programs for stations based on themes like the holidays and Veterans Day. Eric also maintains a database of archival clips for stations to potentially highlight, particularly on their digital platforms, and he produces throwback content to be shared across the Hearst Television group of assets. Externally, our partners at Newsbridge, Google, and BitCentral have been invaluable and have all assisted in the effort of gathering, organizing, and preserving these archives. And thank you to the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation for recognizing this outstanding team in this important work. We are honored to be the caretakers of this video history, and we will diligently continue this effort going forward. Thank you.
Congratulations, Michael, and to the Hearst Television team that's joining us here today. He is responsible for leading Skyview Network's growth as a sales and technology company, serving the broadcast radio and digital audio industries. and growth there has been. Since he started as Skyview's president and CEO, Steve Jones has led the network's expansion from 5,000 radio station business relationships to more than 12,500, spanning across news, weather, sports, and music programming. Steve has stated that, quote, "If you want to be successful, just like Mom and Dad said, you gotta work hard." And he has done just that, starting as a radio newscaster, disc jockey, and television reporter, and then as a writer and producer with ABC News, and progressing to leadership roles at abcnews.com and ABC Radio. Under his leadership, ABC News Radio was the most listened to commercial radio service in America. Steve's teams received an Edward R. Murrow Award and Peabody Award. Steve has won numerous awards, such as those for the Writers Guild of America and the Broadcasters Foundation of America. He's been included in Radio Inc.'s annual 40 Most Powerful Broadcast Executives list several times. He's a big thinker, a popular speaker at industry events, and passionate audio advocate. Steve serves on the Board of Trustees at Adelphi University, New York, where he has also mentored students. Let's recognize this giant, Steve Jones.
Hello. Thank you. That was wonderful. Big head, yes. Big thinker, I don't know. But thank you, Bill. And to the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation for this humbling honor. You know, all of us in this exciting business have an origin story. We were listening to a voice on the radio or watching an image on television. We were captivated by what we saw or mesmerized by what we heard. But to go from watching the show to making the show, well, someone had to give us a break. And my break came in 1978. I was a high school student listening to rock radio. I called WPIX-FM and convinced newsman John Ogle to let me visit the station that same day, right on East 42nd Street, about 10 blocks from where we're having lunch. And in the studio, man, the DJs, they seemed to be having a blast. All I could think was, you get paid to do this? Is this really a job? By the way, those were the same questions my parents had, but that's a separate story for another day. Anyway, being in the studio, it was exhilarating. I think everyone could see the excitement on my face because that day John Ogle offered me an internship and my career started, so thank you, John. I went on to work as a DJ and newsman, local radio stations like WLIR Long Island. Now, can you believe this? Decades after that radio station went off the air, there are 26,000 people in a Facebook group posting every day their memories of that radio station. That's the power of broadcasting. By engaging, entertaining, and informing, we make memories. Now, most of my broadcast memories, as Bill said, were made at ABC News, where I spent more than 30 years. I covered hundreds of stories, but there was always one rule. It's more important to get the story right than to get the story first. Today, anybody can call themselves a journalist. But it's important to recognize that broadcast journalism organizations have a code of standards. They have ethics, fact checks, balances. They serve their communities, their advertisers, and as Curtis knows of the NAB, they're also answerable to the FCC. In social media, accountability, accuracy, sourcing, a little less rigid. Many people get their information today with ever asking a key question. Who created it? What are they trying to influence or have me do? I think among young people, there's an epidemic of media illiteracy, and that's why I'm proud to be supporting a new education program at Adelphi University, raising student awareness on sourcing, vetting, and verifying the information they consume. And thank you to Adelphi for being here today as a sponsor. So, you know, there's not enough time for me to thank everyone who's shown me kindness or support, but I do have a bunch of mentors, colleagues, and friends seated with me today, several throughout the audience, but a lot of them over at table 6. So I want to call them out. Bob Waugh, who warmly welcomed me as a DJ in 1982, and we've been friends for 42 years. My former ABC mentors, the ABC Mafia over there, John McConnell, Trog Keller, Jim Robinson, John Rosso, Bernie Gershon, and Kate O'Brien. Skyview Network's founder, Ken Thiel, and his wife, Lorraine. Ken asked me to join him in 2019. He's been a great colleague, friend, and board chairman, and we have an amazing team at Skyview. Andrew Kalb, whose passion and creativity are matched by his outstanding character. We started working together on a Peter Jennings special at ABC, and we're at Skyview together now 25 years. So I have my own table of giants at 6, and today I stand on your shoulders. Thank you very much. Those of you in this business, you know, thank you, yeah. You guys know, particularly if you're in the news business, it impacts your family life. And my career would not have been possible without the extraordinary support of my wife, Diane. She's been on my side raising 2 amazing kids. Brandon, who went to Ohio State, as Mike McVeigh said, and works for Giant Records in LA. And here's the problem. My daughter goes to Penn State. She's a junior right now. So the family dynamic sometimes on football Saturdays, a little strained. Diane, I just wanted to say, sorry for all those calls from the newsroom in the middle of the night. It was Andrew Cow, probably. Sorry for all the missed family gatherings and too much business talk at dinner. On the bright side, I have promised you that I will try and schedule some weekday lunches, and here we are, so there's that. Finally, the broadcasting industry has been so very good to me, but not all of our colleagues are as fortunate as those of us in the room. So as we head into the holiday season, please support the charity, the only charity dedicated to helping fellow broadcasters, the Broadcasters Foundation of America. Thank you to Scott Herman, Tim McCarthy, Peter Doyle, and all my fellow board members. And congratulations to my fellow honorees. It's such an inspiring event. Thank you to the LABAF, and thank all of you for supporting the event today.
Her passion is contagious. She's smart, creative, focused, a leader who firmly believes in bringing in the brightest people and lets them do their jobs. As president and CEO of CBS News and Stations and CBS Media Ventures, Wendy McMahon supports the journalism of CBS News and its iconic brands, such as 60 Minutes, and for that I thank you. She leads the #1 organization in first-run syndication, as well as its content licensing to television stations, and the division's national advertising sales business. Wendy is also a champion of 27 local CBS television stations and 14 local CBS streaming channel news brands, and their role as community and solutions-oriented journalists. Anyone who has worked with Wendy knows the 3 C's: content, culture, and community. She has promoted initiatives that have increased the local news hours produced by CBS stations from 26,000 in 2021 to more than 42,000 in 2024, with an emphasis on journalism that aligns with the station's mission of making the markets they serve better places to live. She's future-focused, having led the station's group's expansion efforts, such as the CBS Local News Innovation Lab, Newsroom of the Future, and the first ever morning news franchise at KCAL in Los Angeles. Wendy's career has taken her from Savannah to New York City, with several stops in between, including nearly 12 years in leadership roles at ABC television stations. Her news and creative teams have received numerous regional and national awards. She has been recognized for her leadership by Variety's Women's Impact Report and by Multi-Channel News and Broadcasting and Cable. Today, we recognize her too, with a new title. She's now a giant. Wendy McMahon, please.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm last. So right after this, you can immediately exit to the, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give producing notes at this time. So thank you to the foundation for this honor. Thank you to Bill Whitaker, who I think we can all agree was a fantastic MC today. I might be a bit partial. Congratulations also to my fellow honorees. You are among the best in the business. It's an honor to be inducted along with you. Just 1 week ago, my colleagues at CBS News and Station settled into what would ultimately total 250 hours of live continuous coverage across every imaginable platform, following what is one of the most consequential, one of the most intense, one of the most significant election cycles of our lifetime. It was a story that CBS News covered from every corner of the country, and I cannot thank our teams enough, including those here today, for their reporting and their resolve. Thank you. The fact is, never before has the work of a journalist been more important. It's also true that never before has the work, the position, the profession felt so precarious. Admittedly, the outlook for the industry, it can be a bit foggy at times, and that's true for any number of reasons. Yes, we face headwinds in broadcasting, but if you look across the country, the number of local newspapers, the number of local outlets that have been gutted, that have been closed down, resulting in news deserts, resulting in spaces and places where people simply do not have access to trusted news and information. It's also true that we cannot ignore the number of surveys that indicate a growing lack of trust in journalism, in what we do. Fact-based journalists are routinely bucketed with those purveyors of misinformation and disinformation. We are attacked, we are called fake news, or worse. But it is in those moments where we excel, where we elevate, where we are called upon to do so. We cannot define ourselves by those who look to dismiss what we do. We need to stand firm for fact-based, objective journalism. That doesn't mean to say that we don't need to evolve. We don't need to be constantly listening to our viewers, listening to America. But we need to do so while upholding our values. I often talk about the need to retain and defend your why while courageously challenging your what and your how. I think it's important to also recognize that we work in broadcasting. I am proud to work in broadcasting at a time when technology moves us into silos, moves us into more isolated spaces. Broadcast television stands apart. I'm not naive about the state of the business. It's not the business it was 10 years ago. It's not the business it was 5 years ago. However, it has an unrivaled reach and impact. It still stands to be a great unifier, bringing people together for shared viewing experiences. Look at Sundays on CBS, the NFL, 60 Minutes. The viewing in and around those properties, those programs, it dwarfs the biggest original shows on the biggest streamers in this country. We cannot forget that. I have worked in and around television newsrooms my entire career. And it's because, quite simply, I believe in the purpose, I believe in the mission, I'm inspired by the people I've worked alongside, people who are in these roles because it is their calling, it is not their jobs. I also know that it's a calling to serve the public. It is, in fact, a public service that we do. And I've never taken that responsibility for granted. And the fact is, none of us should take that responsibility for granted. Everyone in this room, you have an opportunity, you have a responsibility to support fact-based journalism, to support investigative journalism, to support community journalism. As I said earlier, it is more important now than ever. I also might have said that the outlook is a bit blurry, a bit foggy at the top. I would also tell you that I'm incredibly bullish. Talk about giants here today. It was the giants in the past at CBS News who invented modern-day broadcast television news. We now have the opportunity to create anew, to ensure the viability of this business, of these brands, of this profession for decades to come. Our viewers depend on it. Our country depends on it. Thank you.
So you see why we're all so happy and lucky to have Wendy leading CBS News. Congratulations to Hearst Television and to our 2024 Giants, now 262 members strong. If you're curious to see who is on the Giants honor roll, you'll find more information on the digital program, including in-depth information about the foundation and the library it supports. Today, you have seen the foundation in action. Now, we ask you to take action. Consider making a donation. We thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next November. Make a note of this date, November 14th. Have a good afternoon. Good to see everybody here, and thank you.